channel started 3 years ago or thereabouts, if my research is correct. And then the big rush began about 2 years ago. So what am I talking about? The YouTube phenomenon that is KDP, no and low content book publishing videos. That's what I'm talking about. So 2 years ago is when it appears to be that they started rushing to grab those views and likes and subscribes by telling the world how easy it is to make money from uploading notebooks onto Amazon via KDP. Now, I have a problem here because there is so much to say, but I'm going to attempt to keep myself on track. Before we go any further, be a good sausage and hit the subscribe and notification button, okay? And if you find what I have to say interesting or entertaining or informative, then please like it as well. Thank you. Right now, so here's a good question. Which comes first? Is it the chicken or the egg? Is it the stacking or the Paul? Well, Stacking Profit started his channel 4 years ago or thereabouts, a year ahead of Paul Mars, so it appears. But it was 3 years in that he started with the low content videos. So obviously for a while before that, he was doing other stuff. Paul Mars started his channel 3 years ago and the low content book videos began around 4 videos in. Rachel Harrison Sund started her channel 3 years ago and was straight in with the low content book advice. You know, but although she has made some videos that are informative, but it is a profitable niche videos that I have a major issue with, and basically because it is, excuse my language, bollocks. It is bollocks. And she very recently advised in a video about a $1,000 plus niche. Now, this rewarded her with 9,000 views up to this point. So how many of those 9,000 people are going to be making $1,000 plus from that niche or those niches? Let me see. None. Maybe, possibly 1 or 2, but probably none. Now, the Home Boss started her channel 2 years ago, and it was 5 videos in that no content book publishing first raised its head. And she was explaining how to make money publishing books without writing anything. And on one of her videos, she was asked by a viewer if it's possible to use the same interior for many different books, just adding a different cover. And she said, yes, just that, yes. Not, well, that's not a great idea. Put more effort into it, for goodness sake. You know, okay, it was 2 years ago, but you know what? This is how it's all become such a mess. Now, I have a list here and I'm checking it twice, but there's more naughty than nice on this list. Now, 30 YouTubers who have produced profitable niche videos in the last month, just in the last month. Now, I've already mentioned Rachel Harrison Sund, but what about the others? There's one called Creative Store SG on here, and this is what they promise. Earn $4,254 quickly with this low content niche. Now, it received 554 views. Again, how many of the, sorry to use this term, but the clones are going to be rushing out to make that imaginary $4,000? My Freedom Empire is one who started her channel around 3 years ago, but only got into the low content stuff a year ago. And she's made a lot of videos about hot niches and what they're worth financially. Now, let's just recap on that. Anyway, I'm going to go back over my notes. If I don't use notes, I go off track. Right, so where did we get to? So we said that it was basically in the last 3 years, from what I can see, that this constant pushing of no and low content book uploading, publishing onto KDP, it's been in that time period anyway. And then it gathered momentum, and then 2 years ago it really started to take off, and it's still, people have been joining in the last 12 months. So we had, let me go back here. So we had Stacking Profit, who has basically been doing this for 3 years. Then Paul Malls, 3 years. Rachel Harrison Sund was 3 years. And the Home Boss started her channel 2 years ago. And as I say, it was 5 videos in that then she got onto the no content book publishing stuff. So you can see a pattern. You can see, now, I don't know who started it all off before then, but I don't know, I couldn't find an awful lot that was relevant earlier than that, but I might just not be finding them. But suffice to say that that's the time period in which this has been going on. And you might say, well, so what? Well, actually, it is quite a big deal, because that, for all of those years, people have been trying to make a fortune by uploading very low content books, and in a lot of cases very badly, onto Amazon via KDP, and it's led to a number of problems, and it's just brought the whole thing down, you know, it's just dragged the whole thing down. So on this list, I've got a number of different people. There's one called KDP Low Content, and they have made a lot of videos in a very short space of time about niches, and it's niches in particular that I have the issue with. I've made videos on this before, so I'm just beating the same old bloody drum, really, aren't I? Then there's somebody called Raj, multiple streams of income, Mohammed Rahim, Ramon, passive income, make money with Jay. The list goes on. Dane Macbeth, Paul Malls is on here. Ryan Hogue, somebody called Lady Lilac. Now, they're all entitled to make whatever videos they want. But it's the niche videos. It's the niche videos that are getting on my nerves, seriously. And okay, so now there is another fact here. Okay, Paul Malls has made 13 niche videos in the past 12 months. And here's something else that's interesting. In 2019, Paul Malls said that he had 2,200 books published on Amazon. And, you know, he was being honest. You can't fault him for that. And he'd made just over $12,000 that year. But 2,200 books. It would take me 2 whole lifetimes to create and upload that number of books. But the big question is, how much real effort can go into such a high volume of books? And why? Why do we need so many books? Because that's one of the things. It's this, you know, quantity all of the time. And this is one of the major problems, isn't it? So now, putting my naughty list to one side, yesterday I received a comment on one of my videos in which I show actual journals that I had a go at making. And the person in question told me that I was just like the experts, that although they fluff things up and exaggerate, I am scaring people away and making it sound impossible. Do I agree? Well, to quote Jim Royal, my arse. Anyway, this person then went on to tell me that they have sold 160 low content books in less than 2 months, and that it is possible to make money with them, but that I'm chasing people away from having a go and earning that money from them for themselves. I'm preventing them from doing that. Now, obviously, I can't be saying it's impossible if I'm actually showing books that I've actually made. If it wasn't possible, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I said, well done. But I have no idea how many books you have published in order to sell those 160, or whether you've spent any money on Amazon ads. I don't know, do I? And I'm presuming that they are of reasonable quality. Otherwise, they wouldn't be selling, given that there is a massive amount of competition already from millions of good quality books. I also suggested that they show others exactly how they have done it. If they're so concerned about others, then you know what? Show people how you've done it step by step so that they too can sell 160 books rather than wasting their time and energy. The fact is, I don't have an issue with low content books. I do not. That would be ridiculous. I only have an issue with those that are of poor quality and are of no practical use and are being mass uploaded. And I am having an issue with those who created this monster and are continuing to feed it. So, going back to Paul Mars, he said that a question he is often asked is, can you give me a niche? So let me repeat that. Can you give me a niche? What? How bloody dare you? You know what? You need to sweat some blood and tears over your creation, even if it is a notebook. You need to be engaged with it, have a vision for it, even become frustrated with it. It's all part of the process. He said that rather than giving them a niche, he'd give them a fishing rod so they can catch their own niches, I imagine. I would just tell them to bugger off. I would. Go and take a running jump, because anyone who asks that kind of question stands about as much chance of becoming a successful publisher of good quality books as I do of becoming a Formula One driver. In fact, I've probably got more chance of becoming a Formula One driver. It makes me so mad. They don't deserve anything, and they do deserve to be scared off if that's their attitude and that's their mentality. But the gurus have done this to themselves. Their desperate viewers did not come up with these ideas themselves. They wouldn't even have considered trying to make money by publishing books. Until, that is, they were told that it is easy. It is quick. You don't even have to write anything. Make a book cover that sells in 5 minutes. Make zillions from this and that niche. Make books for free and make big money. And you know, that kind of talk is highly seductive to the skint, the wandering and the lost. Most of them will watch every video going and still not manage to create decent books that have a chance of selling. And those who do sell will have put in effort. And okay, some of the gurus are murmuring about quality over quantity. They're murmuring. They aren't stressing it. They're not stressing it. They aren't explaining what poor quality and good quality looks like. You know, right, here's a bad example. Here's a good example, right? So that people can see for themselves. And, you know, to those who have told me that I'm wrong and that there is big money to be made through the publishing of low content books, look, I don't doubt it. I've never said that there isn't. But surely even you can understand what I'm talking about. Surely those people can understand. You know, and to those people, if you're so concerned with those who are being scared away, you teach them. You teach them how you've done it every step of the way. Show them your books. Be upfront. Put your money where your mouth is. Anyway, I'm going to finish, or start finishing at least, by saying that if you have to have a niche handed to you, you are never going to make it. What happened to creativity? What happened to inspiration? Ideas? You know, okay, we need to figure out where our book belongs because we need to get it in front of the right readers. You know, the ones who will want it, the ones who will buy it, the ones who will enjoy it. So, yeah, it's going to have to go in that niche. But what comes first, the idea or the niche? We're back to the chicken and the egg thing again, aren't we? You know, when I first started publishing through KDP, I knew nothing, zilch, I mean literally nothing. I had no idea, I hadn't even heard of, well, I had, but not in this context, niches, keywords, categories. But what I did have was a book that I had written. And I was really excited to learn how to upload it. And that took me long enough, I can tell you, and to see it in print. And of course, it didn't sell. The cover was absolutely naff. Yeah, I made it myself in Canva, believe it or not. Yes, you will believe it, a lot of you. But I had no idea. I could make a better cover now, but it was awful. And I had no idea anyway what I was doing. But at least I started with a product, not a niche in which I then had to come up with a book about something I have no real interest in or no knowledge about. You know what? These days it appears about putting the cart before the horse, and it's got to stop. I actually doubted I had anything to offer anybody where self-publishing through KDP was concerned. I thought, well, what the hell do I know? And I did listen to, as I've already said, the gurus. And then, but the stuff was being repeated. And then the income reports were coming out left, right and centre. And then it was a niche thing that was seriously getting on my nerves. And I just began to think, and you know what, something really isn't adding up here. And anyway, I've told this story before. But I thought, I still assumed that, well, everybody else out there knows more than I do. But Sleepy Pilgrim said to me, look, if you've been involved with the process of self-publishing through KDP for more than 2 years, then you know something. You do know something. And he was right. He was right. I'm not an expert. I don't know it all. But I have come to realise that, you know what, I might know more than some people out there. I might know a little bit more. Anyway, this has already been said 1,000,000 times, and it will probably be said 1,000,000 times more. If anyone uncovers a niche that they believe will net them a good chunk of money, why would they share it with thousands of others? Because they know that it won't net that kind of money. Maybe it has netted good money for some people, but even then, that's an estimated amount. And those niches have probably been done to death and it's in the past. Now, if the gurus were right about those niches, of course, they could be earning vast sums. So why would they give those niches away? The truth is, those niche ideas are more valuable to them through YouTube revenue than any money they could earn from actually publishing in that niche. And they know that. They're selling a daydream. So it's worth it to them to go to the effort of digging those niches up and presenting them to you all dressed up and shiny. It's worth it to them. It's worth the time and effort. The unsurprising thing is that the most popular KDP videos feature monthly income reports. Those are amongst the most popular. The viewers love them. They eat them up. And also the videos claiming that this or that amount of wealth can be gained from the sale of no and low content books. Where there's money mentioned, then that's where the top views are. And the instructional videos, whilst well received, do appear to be less popular, which speaks volumes. Yet it is still going on. But you know what? It won't be going on forever. It will have its day. So, once again, can we please stop watching the hot and best-selling niche videos? Can we instead focus on producing the best books that we're actually able to and stop this right now? Wouldn't that be lovely?